Okay. Okay, guys. How you guys doing? I'm jumping right back in. It is really crazy, I'm I'm fighting the streaming demons, Maybe the system is trying to like stop my progress. Maybe that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to stop my will to fight, you know? So I don't know what's up, dude. I'll keep fighting it and just hang in there with me. Like I was saying, you know, what was I saying? But at the same time, you kind of go into this thought process where you try to make sense of what our society is right now and how we're conducting ourselves with ourselves. I was in what I was talking about is like women, they kind of instinctively know that men have subdued themselves. They kind of know it. It's not something that women kind of like had to say, oh, what's going on with men? Why there's no tough guys? Why there's no masculine man? Why there's no providers? It's because you can't elevate you cannot elevate women. And let's be like, the episode is called Objective Mindset. Is an unmerciful perspective, meaning there's no bull crap going on. It is what it is, okay? You cannot elevate women and elevate men at the same time. You can't do it. You can't do it. The cause effect of life, just cause and effect of life doesn't allow for that. You have the yin and the yang is necessary in everything. In everything. Everything. Life, death. Passive, dominant. Women, man. Toughness, weakness. Bad, good. Sheep, wolves. Prey, predator. Okay, just come on. Yin and yang. And in the yin and the yang about humanity is women and men. And the things that go on with us, not sociology, or how can I say? Sorry, forgive me. My brain, I gotta slow down and then communicate. Okay. Not our evolution and the way that we evolved as a human species. We're not talking about that. We're talking about just our genetics, just the biochemistry of human beings. A man and a woman can never be on equal playing field. It's not gonna work. It's not gonna work with a man taking a passive role over a woman. It's not. But we have evolved so much as species, as a human Homo sapien. We have evolved so much that we even told ourselves to do something that nothing scientifically say that is possible. And that's men elevating women. We have no control of that. Women are the weaker sex because they're the weaker sex. In order to make them look and appear and seem to have a higher value of dominance or leadership or the appearance of doing more than an actual man and more value than a man and more purposeful than a man, you have to subdue the man. You have to subdue the man. It's just the only way. Out of all the men in the world, for a woman to be a CEO of a company, that had to specifically be sought after. That had to be specifically sought after to elevate that woman to CEO. Because if it was a level playing field, no way. And we don't even know what the truth is anymore. The lines are so blurry. We don't even know what the truth is. Look, I'm not here to bash women. I am not trying to do that. I love women. I have great family members, great friends and female partners and all that stuff that I elevate as much as I can to make sure that I talk about how strong these women are. Because as long as I've known them, 20, 30, 40 years, and they always been like that. They always been strong, dominant, go-getter women. I'm telling you this. But I'm telling you, it was because we've subdued ourselves that elevated. That it wasn't a competition. Men don't see a competition with his woman or his wife or his girl or his mother or his sisters or his siblings or anything like that. They don't really see a competitive situation with that. And it is. Genetically, it is. And in order for you to even allow yourself to not even notice that you're subduing yourself to, you're being dominated, and more of grandeur is going to the women around you, you have to make it in your head that seems all right to you, or it makes sense to you. Otherwise, you gotta triple the amount of outcome. You got great, phenomenal, aggressive women that are going to get it, and they just like accomplishing so much stuff around you. That means you got to do 2 to 3 times the value of a man, not a woman, a man, to elevate over the most baseline woman. In order to overcome that, you have to be in the 2-3 times productivity advancement in order to level above that. And society has said, no, we're not. We have to elevate women. We have to elevate the passive women to make them more powerful and stronger and everything, and give a way for them to get more into the workforce, more to different things that we want them to be. You guys, women, understand this. This is why you have beta males. This is why you have passive males, because sometimes it's not about them being beta. It's about them giving passivity to you, giving passivity to women around them, giving passivity to the women in the culture and society. So sometimes men become passive not be passive, to be who they are and to think how they are. You can't breathe like you breathing. You can't move like you moving. And this leaves no tolerance, none whatsoever, for how you want to live your life as a woman. So you need men, or men have decided to be passive. But in my lifetime, we're finding out that how we correspond with women in the last 30, 40, 50 years is a detriment to the outcome they need for us in the end. What women want for us in the end. You got to remember, for the test of time, let's not even go test of time. Let's go in the economic structure of the capitalist structure of America. It's the most aggressive, it's the most productivity flowing industry, barter trade industry in the world, America. We're talking about mid 1800s to now, okay? Let's just talk about that time. 90% of the productivity and the actual advancement of society was done by men. Everything. Dry cleaning, shining shoes, tailoring suits, building cars, building buildings, building train tracks, garbage pickup, oil fields, electricity, mining the power lines of the electricity, phone communication, computer technology, coding, software development. Like, I could go forever on this. Everything. Makeup. Everything. Pampers, baby diapers. Okay? Food, canned goods. It was totally dominated and manufactured and pretty much done by men. 90% of the time that we've been on Earth, well, at least let's say, through the boom of it, pretty much, put it that way. So we say from 1850 to 2024. All that timeline, every day, when you add up to the percentage of that timeline, you only have 40%. You only have 40 years in the actual years where we diluted men in order to elevate women in the workforce. And that was only 40 years out of 200 years. So you got to think about just think about that. So in order to bring women into the workforce competing for the only dollar for that specific job, you have a man and a woman in the workforce for that dollar. So they have competing interests in whatever the population is to compete for that dollar. You're gonna devalue that dollar. It automatically says, oh wow, man, so many people want this dollar. Oh my God, so many people want this dollar. What should I do? You know what I should do? I should give this dollar away, but I should save myself some money. So if I'm the person with the dollar and I want this person to do this job for the dollar, then there's so many people competing for that dollar. I gotta say, okay, you know what? Who wants to do this job for 90 cents? Oh, still a lot of people. Okay, who want to do it for 80 cents? Okay, still want to do it? Oh my God, okay, who want to do it for 60 cents? Oh, and you keep going and keep going and keep going and keep going. And the more women that's in the workforce, it brings that dollar down to 50 cents. And then the real negotiation starts. Then the compromise where the man says, you know what, I'm losing 50% of what I used to make a week ago or a month ago or a year ago in this job because you got all these people and these candidates for the job now. It's not, in results is I can't even balance it off to make it even worth it for me to even work the job for it. So the man walks away. And the woman steps into place. Oh, I'll take it. Now, you got women in the workforce. 50%. It was always more women than men anyway. So you got 55% of the workforce women competing for that dollar. And every company, everything, every barter trade structure for man hours and workman hours and all that stuff start to do that compromise down to 50 cents, down to 40 cents, and then boom, and you got the women in the workforce. And you got 40 years of this. So I mention this because I didn't make this a gender election. I didn't make an election about men versus women. Women did. Men don't care about none of that stuff. We don't want to talk about abortion. We don't want to even deal with abortion because it's not logical. It's not logical. To deal with it has no logic to it. It's a personal feeling and perception of the moment and all that stuff, and y'all gotta deal with it's unstable. It has no logic to it. It's too emotional. It's psychopathic. And then we're logical. We're gonna walk around in a sporadic. We don't do that. So that's why we don't want to talk about it. We don't want to deal with it. But y'all keep punching us in the face with it. And now we're in 2024, where everything hinges on a woman's right to kill a baby or abort a baby or a fetus or whatever you want to call it. This is the conversation of the election. Conversation about the election is not the economy. It's not the border. Yes, you got a lot of people saying, oh man, that's crazy what they did to that border. It's crazy these people coming in here. It's crazy that 12-year-old girls getting killed and raped because they just opened the border like that. Yeah, you got people saying that, but is it enough to make the deciding factor? No, the deciding factor is abortion. Now, the decision is how many women out of all the women in the country are going to go against their abortion best interests and vote for their economic interests. That's what's going to win. Everybody talking about, oh, Trump, he needs to conduct himself in a mild manner. He needs to be a little bit more appealing to the white woman vote, the suburban mom, abortion advocates. He can't win that war. The most common sense thing got done with abortion, okay? If you care about your freedom and your individuality. If you don't, you know now. If it's one thing that Trump coming into the presidential running and from 2015 to now, one thing you know, if you're for your individual freedoms or you're for a collective identity. Those are the two choices. Celebrities, politicians, they say they for collective outcome, but they don't give a shit. They make it $240,000 a year up to like 90 million. You got a piece of shit person like Howard Stern, and I was a Howard Stern junkie. I was a Howard Stern junkie. But when he went against the freedom of speech, like, dude, are you kidding me? You're the most despicable, racist person in the world. And I used to listen to him and enjoy him and everything, knowing that. You're the most despicable human being in the world when it comes to communication, and you think that Donald Trump is divisive and angry and a white Ku Klux Klan member? What the hell are you? Let me find this. I don't even know if I downloaded it yet. Crazy. We're in La La Land right now. I'm using Howard Stern as an example because he's a perfect example to how illogical we are right now. Where we're so retarded and dumb and have no principles, have no logic, and it's just a ridiculous dumpster dive. You got Christians talking about, they say 74% of all Christians deciding to not vote or stay at home. But not vote staying at home. Oh, we don't like the candidacy. I can imagine one preacher, one father of a Catholic church, I doubt if one of you ignorant motherfuckers out there are more valuable than Donald Trump to society. One! Only way I'm saying that, that sounds like I'm a big Trump fanboy. No, The sad part about all this is out of all the things we went through over the last 10 to 12 years, he's the most, like, he is what he is. And what is he? I don't believe no crappy, like, lifeless tales from the crypt ass woman that's lived her whole life. Not even, like, Trump becomes a politician and then she starts to go on Twitter and talk her crap about him because to say, oh, I got a picture with him so I could just come up with, oh, he sexually assaulted me. Like, and this comes out in 2019. Not 2015, not 2016, not 2017, not 1980, not 1990, not in the early 2000s. 2019 just comes out when he's running for re-election. I don't believe all women, y'all. I don't do that. No. No, they're women. Why would I do that? It's not even a logical thing to do. I don't believe all women. Tell me what happened. What's your evidence? Okay, you don't have no evidence. Who are you? Who's your character? What type of person are you? Okay, what's the situation here? When did this happen? All those questions come into play when you're just a person that's admitting something that happened 40 years ago, 30 years ago, 20 years ago. This is ridiculous, y'all. We are a dumpster dive society now. And women, y'all don't think men are beat down enough, deluded enough? Oh, we have to fight against the masculinity of men. This is an oppressive, evil, toxic masculinity way. That's they have put billions of dollars behind that, destroying the concept of a man. And now you got a bunch of 30-something-year-old women, 40-something-year-old women, 50-something-year-old women bitching and moaning about how they don't not with a guy that provides, or they not. How can we even coexist if you elevate yourself over me? You can't have we have separate. I do what I do, you do what you do, and we come together. No. The man should provide, but the only way he could provide is if he's got to be in a reinforcement environment. He's got to be in a positive environment. Men are in a positive environment when they're totally alone, when they're just isolated. They're not really catering to somebody else's will or happiness or anything like that, which you cannot make another human being happy. That other human being has to know themselves, be happy with who they are and the happiness that they like and the jokes that they like, or who they are as a person, what their experience are, what their skill level is, or whatever they do to bring value to themselves. That's where they're going to get their happiness from. Two people come together to battle you, the society. A couple comes together to battle every single person outside of those two people. That's what's going on. How many relationships are like that? Where no matter how broke you are, no matter how rich you are, these two people who's coming together, they're coming together to fight everybody outside their house. Everybody outside their union. Their togetherness. That's what society, that's a good relationship. That's good partnership. It's not the narrative. It's not how we conduct ourselves. We don't communicate these to our men and women and everything. We don't advocate. We advocate for boss babe, city girl, you get what I'm saying, playboy, alpha male, and it's just like, all that stuff is a thing where you're kind of going to your own world in a way. That's okay. It's okay, but it doesn't kind of go for a building a family and a legacy and a dynasty. It doesn't allow for that. Now, some people, they may do it and they may get it going and they got the right path. I can't tell you that they got the wrong path. Even if it's bad for business, and when you're interacting with somebody, they care so much about the exterior stuff than what needed to go to really win. But that's the problem. You can't, like, even in business, it's a hard thing to partner with people that got competing interests in what's the goal. You can't have competing interests. This world, this society is trying to make us believe that we can do two things at the same time. And you can't. You can't. The people that got multiple things are going, they have things that are on pretty much what is on autopilot, pretty much. They pretty much dominated it or kind of became very great at it and gave us some stability, and now they picking up other stuff and they're doing other stuff and they having other ideas and other opinions and other investments and other ventures that they have going on. But it's only because they've been doing this so long that it's stable now. It's stable and it allows for them to even think outside what they're doing. So when you ain't got to really do it and it's on autopilot, it gives you time to mess with other things and spread yourself to other things, ventures and ideas and social dynamics or whatever going on. Nothing secondary comes into play until the first dairy is dominated and mastered. So that's why I say that, like, yes, people with liquid all around them, yes, they can do some very quick investments and actually become very broad spectrum in their success and everything like that because they got quick liquidity. Well, if you don't have the money, you have to sacrifice the time because it's going to take that much more time. Without the money, you can't just throw money at stuff and throw power at stuff and influence and multiple people at stuff. That's what money does. You have a goal, you have a venture, you have a thing that you're trying to accomplish. If you could pay multiple people to help you accomplish it, you get there faster. But if you don't have the money, you have to dig in even more in time. Do all the steps. You get what I'm saying? I'm a filmmaker, and I always say, if you don't got the money, do you really need to do every single step a $200 million movie is doing? You can't even skip any of those things now. You're too broke to do that. To make your content, make what you're doing valuable, you have to execute even more. I know, I'm kind of probably talking to the wall. I'm screaming and communicating this, and it's like people are like, you know, when they watch it and they ever come in and watch this thing, they'll be like, okay, what's going on with this guy? What's he bitching about that for? Look, guys, I'm not like falling out of the turnip truck. Individual Perspective Podcast is over in Rumble. I'm just starting it over here in YouTube to get ready for the election because we're going to do a 24-hour coverage of it and everything like that. And I just want to introduce myself. My name is Daris D. McKinney. I'm your host to Individual Perspective Podcast. And we're going to be doing, I do all the graphics. I do all the different video clips and all that stuff, researching everything like that. Of course, I need your support. If you guys can, just hit the Cash App and the PayPal is all in the link in the descriptions at the bottom. Hit the like, hit the follow. Do that for me, okay? The whole point of me saying this, talking to you guys about this, it's not just to kind of just talk and bloviate. I'm not trying to do that. I'm trying to give you substance to what is about to happen and what is happening and what is about to happen. You guys got to stop acting like things are happening like out of nowhere. Like things are like just things going on, our election and everything out of nowhere. It's just, oh, wow, I didn't know it was going to be like that. It's ridiculous. Men going against their own interests It's not. It's like something mentally wrong about that. Yes, we spent 40, 50 years not knowing it. But the truth of the matter is we did bad, men. Men, we did bad. I don't care about like the guys that grew up with a strong father figure and your father told you never, you need to dominate, you need to do this, don't do this because I've seen the errors of living and you cannot be submissive to women and all that other stuff. You need to dominate like this. Don't adopt these problems, blah, 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 blah. If men were like that to every guy, then you have a bunch of dominant guys. So that's why you got a bunch of guys doing people's memberships, their Patreons, their locals, their actual seminars, and different things like that. You got them doing that to awaken something that's already in them. That's what those things do. That's what the memberships does. That's what all that stuff. Everything you need to know about economy and money, investment, even knowing how to hone yourself to magnify your finances and everything, even if you're just a Walmart worker, how can I make you grow into a six-figure person? All that stuff. It's all self-realized information, or it's data out there enough where you don't even have to seek it out. But what do we tell ourselves? What do we destroy? And this is what's going on. It's 2020 to now. We found out that even we eat our own even more. The more successful people get, they really eat their own. That's what you're finding out of our society. The more successful our people get, coming out of the hood, becoming successful. You got girls going on OnlyFans, literally OnlyFans, and they barely like doing a $4,000 at a real good strip club, and now they're on OnlyFans making $20 million a month. This has happened. The point of mentioning that, like the anomaly of women that's making $20 million a month from OnlyFans, is to let you know if that woman's making $20 million a month, the majority, or at least the ones that's valuable to look at, I guess, I've never been on it, but the ones that look at it enough, they're making in the tens, 10,000, 3,000, 5,000, 20,000, 50,000, 100,000. That's the measurement of at least a couple 100,000 women in this country and probably around the world making that kind of money. That's our society now. You have social influencers and podcasters coming on here. They're not doing this. They making millions of dollars in their own personal life, doing their own jobs that they're doing, corporate insurance to tech or whatever they get their money from. They're making hundreds of thousands of dollars. They put it into the podcast world and they start to flip it enough to make about $300,000 to $500,000 to $1 million to multiple millions of dollars a year and stuff like that, getting paid to 30, 100,000 a month and everything like that. And then now they're so big now that they eat off the little people. Why? Because I guess that's capitalism. Capitalism is to use the end user to how dumb they are. Remember, because I know what I'm saying. A lot of social media influencers or podcasters may think that I'm hating or been jealous or something like that. This episode is called Objective Mindset is an Unmerciful Perspective. Objective Mindset is an unmerciful perspective. It means no matter if it's against what I want, I have to be objective. Even if I want to monetize off of my podcast. Here, go to the links at the bottom. You can see all of my episodes that I have up to this moment from Rumble and everything like that. Even if I want to monetize off that, in this discussion, I am not allowed to be full of shit. I'm not allowed. I have to be objective. I have to be very blunt and honest to the social dynamics of human beings. That's the truth of the matter here, y'all. I'm not here to try to make you guys feel good. I'm not here to try to make myself feel good. I'm here to say, what are we voting for in 2024? What are you voting for? What are you going to that ballot and voting for? What are you voting for Donald Trump for? What are you voting for Kamala Harris for? What are you doing? What are you doing? What are you voting for? If you know why you're voting, then what's the question here? If you like the last 4 years, if you like everything that happened in the last 4 years, because one thing we know, we got to stop lying to ourselves. One thing we know is those two presidencies, Joe Biden's presidency and Kamala Harris' presidency against Trump presidency. Those two presidencies, the Biden and the Kamala administration versus the Trump administration, are totally, the good part about it is, even when COVID crossed over into 2021, it wasn't the COVID that actually was going on under Trump administration, because Trump had to deal with slowing the spread and business closing down and reopening business and stuff like that, and dealing with the not understanding it and seeing it, how it affects the world. Biden and Kamala administration, they didn't have to worry about that. Everything was back open. If they decided to carry on a certain kind of process of keeping things closed down, they could. The vaccine was not even released yet. They released the vaccine, and then their administration put the mandate. There was no rules and no regulations from the Trump administration to how you release the vaccine. They didn't even want Pfizer, the people that made the vaccine, didn't even want to tell Trump that they were finished with the actual manufacturing of it, because they didn't want to help him win. They were political about it. That's the truth of the matter here, y'all. The percentage of the GDP and the stock interest and all that stuff was at a stable, we're talking about the pandemic. Trump gave them where it was just as good as before. You had people at home because they downsized all companies because they didn't let everybody come back to work yet. Everybody was doing mobility at home. They were downsizing a lot of stuff. But all those jobs came back when everything opened back up, because they still needed the employees that they had already to bring them back. So that's why you got 15 million people went back to work. Not that new jobs was created. They just went back to work to fill the jobs that they already had. And the people that didn't go back to jobs because they didn't want to go back into the job, and they wanted to work mobile and all that stuff like that, all they did was fill them with the other people that was looking for jobs. They may have the people that may downsize in another job, and they went to go do other things that was filled and replacing. They called them I think it's called a pop back jobs or something like that, because they're jobs that already existed, but they needed to be restaffed because of the pandemic restrictions. Okay, so those two, all the stuff that happened to gas, all the stuff that happened to food pricing, all the stuff that happened medically, all the stuff that happened to the administration policies with different foreign countries and all that stuff was totally separated. Totally separated. What happened to the border was totally separated. I got people, and Anton Daniels, I want to tell you this, man. I want to tell you this because you're great. I think you're a great communicator for our people. Stop saying that Obama and Trump had the same policies on immigration. They didn't. Just how Biden and them are doing those secret flyovers It may not be the stuff that's going on at the border, because all they did was have people back in Mexico, just like Trump did, back in their homelands. And what they're doing was different than Trump, is they're giving an app to these people to do they sign up for asylum. They greenlighting them for asylum, and then they're flying them into the country, straight into different states, and letting them go into the states. That's happening in the millions right now, while we thinking, oh, there's no surge at the border no more. I got an episode on Rumble. I called it the migrant paradox. I give you video and everything of that. Trump had that border shut down. He put Mexico military on that border. He put our military on that border. They couldn't even. Mexico had their country shut down so tight on migrants even traveling into the country. Shut it down. When Trump lost, Mexico removed the soldiers from the border. By the time Biden was inaugurated, and that influx of people start to come through the caravans. Look it up, but don't even look it up. I got video. The reason why I'm saying this is because there's no similarities to how Obama handled immigration to how Trump handled immigration. Obama was hardcore on probably single men and like gang members or some criminal looking people. He probably was deporting and doing all kind of stuff. The rest of those people kick them back, but he was letting women with kids come up in this country, dog. I don't know what y'all talking about. Okay? It's just like, look. I voted for President Obama both times. Both times. Second time I knew he was bad. But I couldn't stand in the way of the first black president getting 8 years. I couldn't do it. Who am I to do that? That's just not logical. And I'm a very logical person. It just wasn't logical. It was just, what are you going to do? You cannot stop the first black president from having 8 years. That's crazy. This election, you messing with my money. I'm in Michigan. I'm dealing with the most lackluster. You gotta put a battery in these people back all the time to get them to take any risk, to do anything logical that's actually is more of a positive outcome for them than is a negative outcome for them. It's just so much. I cannot have people pulling back investment money in resources to capitalize on and have growth and expanding investment portfolios and all the other stuff. I can't have people like scared of their own shadow because they don't know if they're going to be paying 10 to 20% in taxes. They don't know if they're going to be like paying more in state taxes. They don't know what the situation is going to come up, how they're going to be audited and all the other stuff. They just don't know. So they just kind of holding back and trying to keep stability, and everything is more expensive now. The gas, the products and like shipping and everything like that, just so more expensive now that if a person is an investor and they got $200,000-$300,000 every month to actually go into investing on people's entrepreneurship or their ventures and stuff like that, I can't even get any of that because people just like, hey man, I am not touching nothing till we get through with this election and we know what the hell are we about to deal with. You got one candidate that flip-flopped on everything she believed 2 years ago. Well, I'm sorry, 4 or 5 years ago. She don't even believe in none of that stuff, and she found a way to make Trump policies work for her. So you don't know if she's going to say, you know what, by Biden and I see what the polls say and everything like that, I know that people want this and I better get on their track and make a way that I can kind of give them what they want. But at the same time, put it in my socialism or communist or my collectivism ideology or international citizenry thought process. I gotta find a way to do that, but at the same time give people what they're asking for, because that's what they're voting for me to do. And so now you don't even know, is she gonna stick to that or is she gonna change up when she get in there? So that makes this paradox character, or this purgatorious character. I know purgatorious is not a real word, but it's like a purgatory candidate that you gotta wait until you're in purgatory to know what's the outcome of purgatory. Are you going to heaven or are you going to hell? And then you got Trump. He is what he is. He always been who he is. And I don't even understand. I don't understand why this man has to communicate who he is. Oh, he's so rude. He's so shrewd. He told y'all in the most passive way what politics was and how you got to conduct yourself in politics. How you gotta even move in politics. He told y'all what it was. Before he ever got in, everybody got asked, Trump, you gonna run for president? Trump, you gonna run for president? You guys don't understand. People, the media and human beings spent, or not, let's say the media and the elites and everybody that's a who's who in communication has spent the last 30, 40 years asking Trump, hey man, you got so much opinion about politics, won't you run for presidency? And he no, what? It's a dog fight. It's a scumbag environment there. Why would I ever touch that stuff? I don't want to do it. I think it's not even a place for people like me, because I'm who I am and my character won't be favorable to a bunch of weak pussy people. This is what he said. I'm summarizing it. He didn't say those exact words. Maybe I should stop put words in his mouth and play the clip, right? Stop putting words in his mouth and play the clip. That's what everybody's telling me to do. Okay, let's do that then. You
took out a full-page ad in major U.S. newspapers last year criticizing U.S. foreign policy. What would you do differently, Donald?
I'd make our allies, forgetting about the enemies you can't talk to so easily, I'd make our allies pay their fair share. We're a debtor nation. Something's going to happen over the next number of years with this country, because you can't keep going on losing $200 billion, and yet we let Japan come in and dump everything right into our markets and everything. It's not free trade. If you ever go to Japan right now and try to sell something, forget about it, Oprah. Just forget about it. It's almost impossible. They don't have laws against it. They just make it impossible. They come over here, they sell their cars, their VCRs, they knock the hell out of our companies. And hey, I have tremendous respect for the Japanese people. I mean, you can respect somebody that's beating the hell out of you, but they are beating the hell out of this country. Kuwait, they live like kings. The poorest person in Kuwait, they live like kings. And yet they're not paying. We make it possible for them to sell their oil. Why aren't they paying us 25% of what they're making? It's a joke.
This sounds like political presidential talk to me, and I know people have talked to you about whether or not you want to run. Would you ever?
Probably not, but I do get tired of seeing the country ripped off.
Why would you not?
I just don't think I really have the inclination to do it. I love what I'm doing. I really like it.
Also, it doesn't pay as well.
No, it doesn't. But, you know, I just probably wouldn't do it, Oprah. I probably wouldn't, but I do get tired of seeing what's happening with this country. And if it got so bad, I would never want to rule it out totally, because I really am tired of seeing what's happening with this country, how we're really making other people live like kings, and we're not.
What do you think of this year's presidential race, the way it's shaping up?
Well, it's going to be very interesting. I think that probably George Bush has an advantage in terms of the election. I think that probably people would say that he's got like that little edge in terms of the incumbency, et cetera, et cetera. But I think Jesse Jackson's done himself very proud. I think Michael Dukakis has done one hell of a job. and George Bush has done a hell of a job. You know, they all went in there sort of as semi-underdogs, including George Bush, and they've all come out. I think people that are around all three of those candidates can be very proud of the jobs they've done.
You've said, though, that if you did run for president, you believe you'd win.
Well, I don't know. I think I'd win. I tell you what, I wouldn't go in to lose. I've never gone in to lose in my life. And if I did decide to do it, I think I'd be inclined, I would say that I would have a hell of a chance of winning, because I think people, I don't know how your audience feels, but I think people are tired of seeing the United States ripped off. And I can't promise you everything, but I can tell you one thing, this country would make one hell of a lot of money from those people that for 25 years have taken advantage. It wouldn't be the way it's been, believe me.
Okay. That gives you guys a look at sorry about that, guys. I keep forgetting to stop the video and put it at a hold, so wait at it after it stops. It just pause. But I messed up. Sorry about that, guys. Sorry about that. Okay. And I'm just showing you guys that for them to act like this guy just comes out of a turnip truck, like he just like, you know, like it's like it's some magic situation going on here. You know, it's ridiculous. Trump is who he was, and he always been that way. Always been that way. Ain't been some other type of human being that decided to run for election and stuff like that. This is ridiculous. And you need, this is why you guys need good communication and good media, fair media, somebody that's not trying to lie to you. I want to play another clip because I think that covered everything, but I do want to play one that that I thought that was really, really good, and it's just a little quick sound bite that kind of gives a good perspective of let me see. I'm looking in all my clips for the clip. I want the shorter version. I got the longer version, but I want the shorter version. You know? I think this one is the longer version. Let's see. Yeah, that's the longer version. We can't use that one. Let me see if I got a shorter version. If I got a shorter version, it'll help. It'll help sell the point real quick. I don't think I got the shorter version. Maybe I gotta go download that shorter version. Okay. Maybe I gotta need to go get it. Maybe I need to go get it. You know, I don't know. I don't want to disturb you guys too much because I guess my stuff is doing some crazy buffering. You know, I don't know what's going on with that. Looks like it should be playing pretty good. I don't know. It's not receiving enough bandwidth. Maintain smooth buffering. Yeah. Let's go. Let's keep going. Okay. So, yeah, guys, I don't know what's going on here. Analytics, my streaming. Keep it going. Okay. Sorry about that, guys. Let me get back to my conversation that I'm having with you. You know, when you're multitasking and everything, and you're trying to do too much at the same time, you could probably take yourself out of what you're trying to do. And what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to make sure that I give you guys a good presentation to what I'm doing. Hold on a second. I'm looking at my live stream and I'm trying to see why my live stream is not. Maybe I need to end this. See where we at now. I don't know, guys. Am I talking to the moon or something? Okay. Yeah, maybe I should stop this stream But look, yeah, that's what I'm gonna do because I don't know what's going on. I don't know if I'm still recording or not recording or what's going on here, but I want to make sure that we good. Look, my point of being is Trump is who Trump is. Kamala is who she is. We got to stop acting like it's some totally different situations that's going on here. You know, like it's some like we don't know these two people, and like you know they tag on the racist, sexist, criminal. How can you guys? It doesn't matter what the media and politicians and celebrities call Trump. How do we allow them to do it? And that's what they're putting on him. That's the things that they're saying that he did. They're fine. They're changing laws inside of New York. Just take away statute of limitations for new people that came together with people that hate Trump. Come up and say, you know what? He raped me. Well, when did he rape you? Oh, 1980s, 1990s. Okay, so that's the statute of limitations is pretty gone by that. So we're gonna have to pass a law to put statute of limitations back into play. And then we're gonna let you come out and accuse him of this. I didn't do that. I didn't do that to her. I don't know who this lady is. Well, we don't believe you that you didn't know this lady. This lady said you raped her 20, 30 years ago. You're a scumbag. You do this Miss American pageant. You judge women and how they look. You got 3 wives. You leave one wife for another hot wife and for another hot wife and the next hot wife. Then there, we don't believe you. You're a terrible, sick individual. And this is close to what your perception of who you are. Oh, you said in the van and with the hot mic on you, when you're going to Entertainment Tonight or Entertainment Live, you said that you so rich that rich mans could just walk up to a woman and grab them by the. You said that, taking it out of context, and he's saying, "Hey, women are so retarded, and they all about their money, and they all about comfort, and they all about being provided for." That if you a dominant guy that's pouring liquid and you're the capital of industry in the world, women will open themselves up to you and be very submissive to whatever you want. You can even just grab them by the. That's the conversation he having with a man and another man joking about celebrity. Yes. Conversation that women might say, hey, this is a terrible conversation, but your husband had these conversations. Your sons had these conversations. Your granddad had these conversations. Your father had these conversations. We have some of the most debauchery conversations as men. We always have these conversations. Don't mean that we like it's just certain things that in our experience that we know that situations pop off. Women are vulnerable to great dominant men. Capital of industries. Men that got their shit together. Men that are actually moving the ball. Women are very submissive to that kind of stuff. What you yes, it may not be a conversation that you want to hear on the eve of an election, but there's a private conversation. Hot mic is on. Trump always think that people are going to be honest and fair and have some integrity and some kind of like respect for somebody they have a relationship with. Oh, I keep coming on the show. I keep giving ratings to you. I keep providing you with ratings and giving you certain things. Just be fair and be respectful to our relationship and everything like that. Pre-warn me about stuff and everything like that if you can. And they say, he's talking all this conversation with this guy and he's got a hot mic on. Let's cut. We didn't turn that mic off. We put it on him and he's talking like we got to turn the mic on or something. Trump, if they give you a battery pack, if they give you a mic with a battery pack or a pack, that's the receiver. I mean, that's the transmitter. That means that mic is hot if it's on, if it's ready. They got to come on before you start recording and turn it on. So if they don't do that, it's a hot mic. So if it's a hot mic, you can't have like human conversations because you got to be evaluated by people that are full of shit. And they acting like, oh, we don't know. Everybody watching Walking Dead and Godfather, Scarface, Sex in the City, Game of Thrones, the most debauchery stuff in the world. And now y'all want to act all sensitive. It's ridiculous. Ridiculous. But look, I go on this for hours. I'm going to stop and kind of see what's going on with the stream. I'm seeing something that I just don't understand how it works in YouTube, and I just want to make sure. I think I see what's going on there. Just want to make sure everything is working good and everything like that, and making sure that they not messing up my stream, pausing it. The counters look like it's going, the stream look like it's going, but I don't know. I'm hoping that it played and it didn't stop it. And freezing, like if I'm not froze right now, guys, I'm only stopping this because I can't see from my I think my stream looks good, but I don't know if it's I don't think they're playing my stream even on the YouTube app. I can't even see it. I can see it in my actual studio dashboard. And it's telling me I'm excellent, so okay, that looks good then. Okay. It just updated itself. Okay. It's because it was always healthy. But look, I'm trying to communicate to you guys that we don't have to have Trump explain who he is. He has documented who he is. You guys are trying to come up with a whole nother Trump that don't exist. But it doesn't mean that that's who he is to this fake ass Trump perception that you guys are trying to put into existence because you guys don't like I'm telling you, man, what we did to counteract the existence of masculinity is off the hook. Like to this campaign of deleting the perception of masculinity that is known to man. It's wild. Okay? I do want to show you guys one clip, and I'm fighting for this clip, and the reason why I'm fighting for this clip is because I don't want to sit here and play a bunch of clips on you. I'll play that on the next episode, but I do want to be realistic to how dumb the voters are and people's perception of Donald Trump is. Look, I can explain the 1970s real estate regulations of who's the people that they renting apartment complex to. I can explain that. I can explain the Central Park 5 to you, and maybe I'll do that in the next episode after I kind of check everything to make sure everything is good. And then even like trolling is something. Some people were pioneers of trolling, man. And when in this infancy, it was naked, it was brutal, it was dogmatic and everything like that. So Trump messing with Obama about his birth certificate and stuff like that. It was trolling at its highest. It's unseemly. I'm not gonna lie to you. It's unseemly. It's unseemly. They didn't want Trump to win, and it was the tactics that Trump took. You know, he didn't think about how weak Romney was as a person that don't understand the country he live in. I don't care if you're a Mormon. I don't care if you're a Christian. I don't care if you're a Catholic. Nobody in this country living to, or the rules of this country does not abide by Catholic religion, Roman ways, or Mormon ways of thinking. You have porn making billions of dollars a year. Cigarettes, alcohol, hundreds of billions of dollars a year in every single restaurant almost. And it's like Those are degenerate behaviors. Women wearing tight and revealing clothes, shape of their breasts, shape of their body, and it's all debauchery. It's all degenerate behavior. I don't care who you are. I'm not judging it. I'm not out there saying don't do it. Please do it. We enjoy all this stuff. Women having abortion, thank you. We don't have to stay with you. You ain't got no kid that we got to step it up. We got to step it up to take care of our family and our kid. You do abortion? Go right ahead. Let us off the hook. Please. Please. Who do you think that helps? What's the chances of a woman giving an abortion and it helps her more than it helps the man? What's the percentile there? Y'all not really had this conversation. Y'all really not. Y'all really not. Really not. You looking at me, you kind of probably say, oh, that's terrible. Oh, how can you say that? We're going to flag you. Objective mindset is an unmerciful perspective. Objective mindset is an unmerciful perspective. Objective mindset is an unmerciful perspective. Meaning the truth is the truth. It is what it is. And we don't conversate like this, and we've been not doing this for 40 years. The last 4 years has put us where there's a flood of real conversation, real exchange of the dynamic of interrelationships. This is the conversation we're having. But we only really had it for 4 years. But you had 40 years to suppress it, to not have these conversations, to let this new societal way build and manifest and show what's the society that women would make. Women think like because they're gonna hire Kamala for the first president, oh, now we're gonna see how the life is. Now we're gonna see how the world is when a woman leads it. We already know how it is when a woman leads it. That's what we're living in. We've been living in it for 40 years, y'all. 40 to 50 years. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? It's been a how would they say? How do they say I can't even remember how they would say it, but it's like it's like pretty much like be passive to get along, you know what I mean? Because otherwise you're in war. You're in war. Okay? It's been a very passive way. It's been a way, I'm telling y'all, it's been a actual subduedness of men in order to allow women to elevate. And women are telling you in 2024, they hate how weak men are. But men can only be weak. And they have to be weak to elevate women. You cannot have women walking around in the workplace in a competitive zone, your company against their company, your will against their will, their goals against your goal. You can't have that kind of environment unless you subdue yourself, unless you subdue what you want out of that. So men have opted out. Bad, I admit, stupid, was dumb. We should have never did it. Never did it. We should have never opted out of that this is our world, that is a man's world. We should have never opted out of that. Because all in the end, women hate it. They hate the world we gave them. They hate the breadwinning or the possibility to be the breadwinner. They hate that. For every dollar that they make, they want you to make 3. It's amazing, man. And you don't even look at women. Women don't understand that administrative work. That means board member stuff, like clerk stuff, like administrating the money. banking, accounting, payroll, all this stuff. This stuff was heavily by men up into the 1960s, up into the 1970s. Heavily. All the stuff, hospital clerks and all that stuff like that, all that stuff. Accounting, office accounting, all that stuff. Heavily men. Yes, of course, some big industries and stuff, no matter what, if it was 1940s or something like that, they have women doing some of that stuff like that. Yeah, maybe. It wasn't majority, though. Majority companies, majority jobs were occupied by men leading up to 1960s, 1970s. 90% of the whole world economy was ran by men. Were done and ran by men. The last 40, 50 years is when we had to give women their space, their growth. We had to do it. And if it was men that didn't like it, other men put laws in place, statutes in place, FBI mandates in place to make sure. So I'm just honest. This is not a woman bashing thing. Objective. We've been objective here. And the only way I could do that, we got to have a conversation of a blunt, honest conversation. No matter if I'm for women working and getting it and doing what they got to do to advance themselves or master themselves or whatever, it's you cannot do it in opposition of men. Because if you do, a man can't take a approach that you're taking food off his table. He can't look at it like that. He got to look at it as you're in the workforce together, and it's just the way it is. And he may lose to a woman doing better work or getting hired over him and all the other stuff like that. It's just the way it is. So I don't know what you guys are voting for. I really don't. I mean, I don't know why you are voting for the candidates, because it's such a black and white situation. And I say, and like I said before I stopped myself, if you're voting for Kamala, you're voting for the last 4 years, you're voting for how things are going, you're voting for the first woman president. I truly think 99% of all the people that are voting for Kamala is because it's the chance of having a woman president. There ain't no Republicans against Trump. No, those just weak military men. I don't care who you are. Veterans against Trump. You just weak people of the whole bunch. And you propagandize. And you look at his masculinity and how he moves and how he talks and how it's just too much. It's too much men. It's too much. It's too much dominance. We're in a new world now. We're in a new world. We can't allow that. We can't allow men to conduct themselves like that. We haven't been letting men conduct themselves like that for 40 years. Because Trump is like an anomaly that's running around the whole country still being a man. Don't mean all men. How do your father, look at how you think. You're passive. You're inclusive the way you are because that's the culture. No man in their right mind want they women running stuff. No man. If we allow that, if we're saying we're supportive of it, it's because we're being submissive towards it. We have to subdue logical thinking, our innate manhood, in order to allow that thought process to be okay in our head. And that's in all of us. It's in me. I have definitely subdued myself. 100%. The people I know, some great people I know, they have subdued themselves. But if you sit down with some great winners, they haven't. They give maybe a perception to the public like that, but how they run their companies, how they dominate their house, they don't play that. But that's not the world that they're communicating to the public. And that's the disconnect. So you got a bunch of men finding out on their own in their own life that, oh man, I'm gonna have to lunch up on this woman if she keep kind of coming up here like throwing her weight around because she got a job and stuff. This is crazy. Men had to say, man, dude, she winning. I'm not against her. She's her own person. She her own human being. She got to live the life she got, and whatever growth that she has, she had to have it. I'm not gonna stunt her growth. I ain't gonna hate on her. You got to do it. Some subduedness has to go to be able to come into that mindset. So I'm just letting you guys know. Yes. You think this is bad? You think this is bad? Like, look. I'm gonna play this clip. Cause y'all just think I'm coming out of nowhere. One of the two people that we need to be extremely effective in this whole country is giving ridiculous feedback for what he's saying. Okay? Ridiculous feedback. Let me let it play for you.
This is by no means normal. The trends are generally in our favor right now. And let's put up that. Can we put up the clip again? Just the picture of the major crowd shot. It is hard to find. I mean this sincerely. That could there be a non-candidate Democrat that could draw a crowd like that? I mean, maybe like George Clooney or Brad Pitt. Taylor Swift, probably, Katy Perry. I mean, I'm sure. But I'm talking about someone who's just maybe in the political punditry world. I don't think so. And we're seeing this on campus after campus after campus. And again, I don't want to misrepresent. It's almost a guarantee that Kamala Harris will win the youth. But I don't think she's going to win it nearly by the margins that the youth totals that we saw in 2020, and certainly not in 2016, and definitely not with Barack Obama back in 20.
It doesn't even matter. Doesn't even matter if she I want you guys to understand, Charlie Kirk, I love you. I watch you all the time. It's really good, and I love what you're doing with TP USA, but I don't know what you guys are doing. Stop talking about every other thing that happened in the election or the city. I don't even care. Don't even talk about the hurricanes, okay? I want you to come on air and tell us what you guys have done for the last 4 to 6 years with the hundreds of millions of dollars y'all got it. You got Elon Musk exclusively giving these guys millions of dollars to get out the vote. They're supposed to have an apparatus that's got groomed and prepared for the last couple of years, and it's spring them out. Spring them out. That's what they're supposed to be doing right now. And they kind of like, we seeing, I don't know, man. I don't know why it's like that. Who's the losers here? Who's the weakest of the situation? Okay, how they say this? Who's the defective part of the Trump campaign, or not campaign, the Trump election period? Who's the ineffective part of this? Trump supporters? I love how you guys say, enough Trump supporters didn't come to vote for Trump in 2020. No, all his supporters came to vote for Trump in 2020. He had 75 million people voted for him. That's what they say. I'm pretty sure 3 million of that, 3 to 5 million of that was something that they put in to not make it seem like it was only fake Trump support, or like it's this weird number like shooting up for Biden, so they had to put some Trump people in there. I don't believe that election. It's crappy. I can go over it, but I don't got time right now. So what do we know? We know that Trump probably did about a good 10 million people over, I'll say 5 to 10 million people over what he was supposed to do, of real human beings. I really believe that. Okay? You think Trump supporters didn't vote for Trump? They voted for Trump. You know what our problem is? It's pussy Republicans. The people that you have on your show. You think you got strong people on your show when they don't fight you, and when you don't fight them for a consistent narrative, we losing. We're talking about a party that's on the other side of y'all, the opposition, the Democrat Party, that they do not come out of lock and step. They would never badmouth Kamala in the election period. They would never do that. Never do that. You got a journalists that feel like their brand and like their apparatus and what they work so hard for is dying because they've been not doing their job so well. So they might come out once in a while and do some real reporting or something like that. That's a reporter. That's gonna sooner or later that's gonna be obligated to try to muddy the water to seem like they fair and balanced. I'm talking about the Republican pundits, the commentary, the Republican or conservative podcasters, a bunch of you ignorant motherfuckers talking about Christianity. Y'all don't care about Christianity, dude. Y'all swimming in the swimming pool with all degenerate people. You're coexisting with a lot of degeneracy. Things that are just shamefully unbiblical. I'm not saying you should be. I'm not saying I'm not no holier than thou Christian. I'm not even no good Christian. I'm not going to advocate for Christianity like that. How do you do that? I just want you guys to explain to me how you're going to be anti-abortion. You get what I'm saying? And not and say I want to win the election. You can't win the election unless you're for some kind of type of abortion. 6 weeks, 15 weeks, whatever it is. You can't want to win an election. Are you willing to it's nothing that Trump could say to make Christians favor him well if they think, oh, he's supportive of abortion. He ain't supporting on abortion. He give it back to y'all so y'all can make decisions in your city, your states. But y'all suck at the narrative so much that y'all regretting that he's not gonna put a ban on abortion to the whole country. And 71% of this is what you're saying. 71% of all Christians are not gonna vote this election. Because he won't say that he will put a ban on abortion. That's retarded. That's just retarded.
Misrepresent. It's almost a guarantee.
And you goes out to these campuses and stuff like that. That's all good. It's all dandy and stuff. And you get a bunch of maybe 1,000 people to show up and everything, and they sign up. I don't care about
Kamala
this.
Harris, the youth totals that we saw in 2020, and certainly not. These are waves and waves of patriots. I don't want to spend too much time on that yet. My greatest concern, and Blake shares it, is that, yes, we have that crowd, show that one more time, and just only a handful of them show up. Only a handful of them turn up.
It's October, dude. What are you talking about? Your biggest concern is only a half of them or a quarter of them. So you don't know? You don't know? Your team haven't been out there to know who was registered? How many people were registered? How many people y'all registered? You get paid hundreds of millions of dollars. You don't know how many people that TPUSA registered in Michigan, in Wisconsin, in Pennsylvania, in Nevada, in Arizona, in Georgia. You don't know? Because that's all you got to worry about. What I just told you about. Maybe we have to put into North Carolina for some reason, these immigrants and black people are flooding and polluting the zone. But you guys don't even know. You just don't know. What did you spend the hundreds of millions of dollars on? What was it spent on? How do you not know? How do you get paid hundreds of millions of dollars? This man has been they've been giving him hundreds of millions of dollars for the last 10 years at the least. If it's not tens of millions, it went to tens of millions to hundreds of millions. How do you not know? How do you just spend the last 4 years, just the last 4 years, registering people to vote? Even just this year, from January to now, how do you not know how many people TPUSA, Republican Party, registered to vote, and who? I want to know who's registering to vote. Is it TPUSA or is it the Republican Party? Is it the RNC? I want to know. I just want to know. You can say, yeah, it's none of your business what we do in our money and our platform, and when we go pitch our job, we pitch that we're going to get the next generation ready for election in 2028 or 2030 or some crazy stuff like that. We don't really care about what goes on this election. We're fighting for the 2032 election. Is that what's going on here? Is that what we're talking about here? 2028? 2032? Is that what we're talking about here? Is that the conversation when we listen to Charlie Kershaw, when we support this TPUSA? Is that what we're paying our attention to? Is that what we clicking likes on and we doing follows and we making you have at least a couple $1 million that you're making on the podcast world and stuff? Is that what we fighting for 2028 and 2032? And I know this sounds like I'm being very negative. I told myself I would never talk negatively about Charlie Kirk because what him and his team is doing is really off the hook, and we need it. We need it. We absolutely need him. We need what he's doing. And to sit here and act like we don't is stupid. But boy, if you telling me out of all this money, got buildings, you got studios, you got all kind of apparatus to get the narrative out, and y'all suck at the narrative. I'm gonna tell you the truth. Y'all suck at the narrative. Y'all all sound like who's like y'all like Brian Kilmeade. Everybody sound like Brian Kilmeade. Oh, he needs to watch what he says. He needs to watch it. No. That's an American citizen. That's an American citizen. Ex-president, former president, American citizen, Donald Trump ain't got to watch what he say. He ain't out there using F-bombs, using the B word. These people calling him a racist. They call him a rapist. They call him the most shameless stuff in the world. They coming out saying it, calling him that. They don't care if he's convicted by something or if he was wrongly convicted. They are tagging him. And you want him to keep a cordial. Is this I'm looking at people women say, is this decorum that we want? You're a woman. You don't know about no war. Decorum is a snooty, pompous ideology. Decorum is a cushy environment. You're fighting for the Constitution. You're fighting for the country. You got kids getting raped and murdered because of the policies that's on the opposition side. And what you guys do, I'm probably gonna get flagged on this. I know. That's why I didn't want to come here from Rumble. This is not a free environment. Even this environment, I gotta play in this environment because that's the only way you're gonna get some communication with people. It's the only way. YouTube. They trying to structure Instagram, or you have to structure yourself to Instagram in order to give good communication to it. Look, I know I've been going on too long for this. I'm gonna stop. I'm gonna stop. I really am. I'm just trying to give a communication to you guys that I just don't understand. I'm gonna let this play, but I'm pretty upset at a lot of the stuff that's coming out of the Republican Party. Really, I am. It's a hard one for me. It is really hard for me. Really is. Really hard for me.
This is why our obsession at Turning Point Action is to chase ballots and to drive turnout. Turnout will make or break this entire election. This is not a persuasion election anymore. And the question is, what are we doing to drive turnout? Well, at Turning Point Action, we're doing quite a lot.
Well, you felt the persuasion. You felt the persuasion. When y'all duck and dodge the apartment complex in the 1970s, when he kind of was regulating to make sure that people that they actually apply for the apartment complex got 3 times the amount, they make 3 times the amount of their salary per month. So if the apartment complex is $1,200, they mandated to who they allowed to become tenants that you got to make about $3,600. I'm just using that as an example. And then the government say, no, you got to let anybody that decide that they can pay the rent, or that they got good credit enough to pay the rent, or a good job enough, or they can show payrolls and they got a consistent job. You got to let any of them come into your apartment complex. And if you get problems with rent collection every month or something like that, then so be it. It's just the way of the world. So the mandate that he had in the business orientation to have consistent revenue and consistent way of running the operation of the apartment complex, the government decided that he needed to be a little bit more liberal about who is the people that are allowed to so happen to be that black people wasn't making $3,600. If the situation is 3 times a month, that it would be harder for black people to make that consistent revenue than a white person would. So if you couldn't make this 2 to 3 months rent in advance, or per month to make sure that you could stably pay for the rent, then it was an evaluation if they should give you the apartment complex or not. So that became, oh no, you can't discriminate against the type of person or the economical situation of the person that wants to rent the apartment. If they can pay their rent, then you got to give it to them. They pay the down payment and they pay the rent on time, then that's just what it is. You can't worry about what they make per month. And they had to adjust the company to that. You guys keep running away from that conversation? You guys keep running away from why he got 3 wives? Or he got married 3 times? You keep running away from that? You keep running away from some fake, ridiculous, loony woman accusing him of sexually assault in a high-end Bloomingdale's type of store. You keep running away from that? You keep running away from them saying that him reimbursing or his lawyer turned out to be a crook, and he's deciding to try to get himself out of hot water, so he accused Trump of paying him back NDA payment that he gave to a porn star, that he told him don't pay her, that I don't know why you guys are paying her. And he's saying, okay, he reimbursed me in this monthly retainer that he gave me for my fee for being his lawyer. So the question should have been, okay, if Trump is saying that the payment that I gave to my lawyer is a monthly retainer of him being my lawyer, I pay him $35,000 a month. Okay. Next question should be, okay, he's saying that you paid him back for the NDA. Trump said, no, I didn't pay him back for the NDA. I paid him back his retainer fee for being my lawyer. Now, if he took his money that he put a mortgage on his house to pay the actual porn star, if he took it out of his retainer, that's got nothing to do with me. That's him. So the facts, if a lawyer, a prosecutor want to know, did you pay for the porn star? Because it's not illegal to pay for a porn star or pay for NDA. So I'm not there yet. But if the case or the investigation of it says, okay, in order for us to know if he paid for the porn star or for the NDA for a porn star, or if he paid this guy his retainer, we have to see a consistency of the retainer being paid. Do you have 12 months of a retainer getting paid $35,000? Or is it just these 3 months that all added up to the amount of money that you gave to the girl for the retainer fee? What did they find out? He had $35,000 that he got paid for a whole year as retainer fee for the lawyer. Okay? Came up to about $420,000. If you could divide that into 12 $35,000 payments, it doesn't matter what his lawyer says. We only can go by how many checks and how many payments and how many checks that lawyer took and deposited as a lawyer retainer fee for being a private lawyer for this client. That's the truth of the matter. So now you have the attorney general or New York Attorney General that decide we don't like Trump. You pay this porn star NDA for NDA. Your accountant paid this porn star NDA, or reimburse your lawyer for paying this porn star NDA. And then in the ledger of the county ledger, you guys put it as a legal fee. Okay, what did you want me to put it as? Well, we put it as payment for a porn star. Why would I do that? My lawyer paid for NDA without my permission. I'm telling him, don't do it. She's a liar. He did it anyway. He sends an invoice to me for monthly retainer fees for $35,000 and all that stuff that he paid, that he sent to the actual county. The county printed up $35,000 checks. I signed to say, yes, that's his lawyer fee. So here, sign. Yep, that's good. And now the government wants to come in and say that payment that you gave him in $35,000, that was a retainer fee. That was repayment for the NDA to a porn star. Okay. If it was, that's my lawyer paying a porn star of amount for her to sign an NDA. She signs the NDA, she receives the money, she does what she does with the money. Okay, that's my lawyer going into agreement with this porn star on supposed to be my behalf. And he sends an invoice to say, hey, this is for something I did. He didn't put on the invoice, payment to a porn star. He sent it in as legal fees. Legal fees in, boom, he sends it, it's a retainer. I don't send him like, okay, money back for a porn star. I send him retainer fees and whatever the amount of the $35,000 equal up to the $35,000 a month. And you're telling me you're going to prosecute me and give me 34 counts because my accountant and my accounting department didn't put in the account ledger payment to a porn star. They put it as legal fees. And now you're going to charge me, and then you're going to have some warp-ass citizens in New York. See, this is all Trump. He's a sexist. He always talking about women, and he got his hot wife and his model wife. And he always care about what arm candy he got on. So guilty. You got 12 moronic New York people finding him guilty and convicted him, giving him 34 counts, convicted him on 34 counts, sending him to jail for 134 years because his accounting department put legal fees instead of, I guess it's supposed to be like payment to a porn star. That's the criminal stuff they talking about. Only person that could stop a president from taking documents part of his administration is the president that actually is the president of that time. So if he took those documents, sent them to Mar-a-Lago, 2 to 3 hours later, a president get inaugurated in, who was the president that was supposed to administrate if Trump had the right to take those documents to Mar-a-Lago? Who was the president at the time that he flew out and took the stuff to Mar-a-Lago? Who was the president? Donald J. Trump. He's the only one that could have stopped him from taking the documents. DOJ works for him. The archive department works for his administration. They're part of his administration because he's the actual administration person. So it's crazy to say that he is all illegal. So this is a wild thing. I don't even know why we even talking about this. You guys got to know the laws. You got to know what exactly happened before you can even make the joke. Not the joke, but the decision. I'm yelling like this and going crazy like this because you guys are having your conversation and it's like crazy. We can't even do business right if your mindset ain't right. We can't even conduct ourselves in a humane situation of growth and prosperity if your mindset ain't right. So now I got to reconstruct you in order to let you understand what kind of environment you in and how you need to be. But we prop up these people. We give them hundreds of millions of dollars. We hitting a cash app and all that stuff like that up. And you don't even, they got no legitimacy. They got no stability to what they're doing. They got no construction to what they're doing that's favorable to the outcome that you're asking for. Wild stuff. We let them finish playing this.
Hundreds and hundreds of full-time people, thousands of volunteers. But Blake, can you support me in this? I don't know if you agree or disagree, that it seems that turnout is the ingredient that is the most worrisome if it does not manifest for Donald Trump.
It definitely is. We've remarked on this throughout the summer that the polling indicates there's been at least a bit of a shift in what Donald Trump's coalition is. Historically, the Republican coalition was high turnout voters and the Democrat coalition was lower turnout voters. So the Democrats would go absolutely hog wild. They need turnout to be as high as possible. And that still kind of held in 2016, in 2020, but it shifted a lot. Donald Trump is doing better than before with young voters. He's doing better than before with Black and Hispanic voters, Asian voters, naturalized immigrant voters.
And it's my point. That's what I want to tell, like Charlie Kirk and them. Y'all looking for Trump to do something. He did what he was supposed to do. He's appealing to Hispanic voter 10% more, 10 to 20% more than he was in previous elections. So that means he brought more people in. He's getting a higher vote tally of the actual black vote, at least the black man vote. He's bringing in a lot of women that y'all think like ain't no way he's gonna have support for women against Kamala. He's still bringing in about 40% of them. He's bringing in people that never wanted to vote ever. They hate this government. They hate government, period. Just stay away from me. Let me live my life. And I don't think this is some real stuff. So it's a bunch of sick societal people. I don't want to be a part of it. He's even making those people go to the polls and vote. What's supposed to happen now? You holier than thou pieces of shit people supposed to take your ass to the ballot box and vote for him. Why? Because you suck as a Christian. All of y'all. Every last one of you. Every last one of you. If I go into your Netflix, if I go into your Max, if I go into your Amazon Prime, y'all watch some degenerate, debauchery stuff. Sinful images. Sinful conversations. You're not no humble person. You're a sinful person out here acting like you the most holier than thou person. Oh, I can't have no person like that. I can't show my kids that I supported a man like this. Who the hell is you? Ronald Reagan was terrible. He was terrible to our country. Our borders are open like this because of Ronald Reagan. What Bill Clinton did in attaching policies to the crappy stuff that Ronald Reagan put in place in the 90s, that he attached crazy stuff to a crazy bill that in legislation that Ronald Reagan put in place to open our borders, have us into like immigration courts where we gotta even give a shit about what this person's saying when they come to the border. Them claiming asylum, all that crazy stuff that got magnified from Reagan. the dumb decisions that Reagan did to arm and give intelligence to the Al-Qaeda against Russia in the 1980s gave us 9/11. We supported that. We gave intelligence and gave ability and gave strength to Al-Qaeda to even consider if we got into their business or not in the Gulf War. It's ridiculous, y'all. Y'all crappy. And every time you think that I'm going too far, the name of this episode is Objective Mindset is an Unmerciful Perspective. Meaning that my perspective on this stuff is blunt, honest, true, no bullshit. I don't want this to be a profane conversation that I'm having. I'm really trying, but the passion in me, I am so tired of the conversation we've been having at the least through this election. This is ridiculous. I'm looking at these ads. Why y'all thinking they spend an Avatar budget? The amount of money that they would spend on Avatar, why you think they spend an Avatar budget on Project 2025? Because people are so dumb that they think Project 2025 is the threat. They getting some information, some polling, some communication in a good enough data to let them know that it's accurate. That the Project 2025 is really triggering people. I'm just going to tell you this, you dummies, you Republicans, and I'm so pissed at Charlie Kirk. I'm so pissed that all you guys are supposed to be out there doing some major advocacy and major narrative control, and y'all suck at y'all podcasts, and y'all suck at what y'all do. If I had the money and the support and the apparatus that you guys have to put on these shows, that had a banner, that had the internet speed, that had all this stuff, I'm struggling. I'm struggle streaming. If I had to, and I'm working on it, don't worry about it. If I had the power that y'all have, ain't no way in hell I'm going to let Project 2025 have this much. Y'all could have came up with talking points, narrative, cool commercials, all kind of cool stuff to combat this narrative of Project 2025. Y'all just ignoring it like, oh, well, nobody care about Project 25. They spending $400 million to advocate Project 2025 against Trump. And you ain't gonna do nothing? You ain't gonna have no narrative against that? Terrible. Y'all let abortion be magnified. Y'all made them make this election about abortion like in 2022. Y'all lost the hell out of that election on the point of abortion. And y'all didn't come up with nothing to combat this? And the best y'all got is Christians saying, oh, this is a degenerate society. It's so evil. Both candidates are so horrible. I don't care about none of it. I'm not even going to vote. Shame the actual Christians. That's your opposition. That's how you do it. You shame them. And you say, no, we're not going to shame the Christians. Boy, I want you guys to understand one thing. Yes, I don't have a lot of money to do this. I'm doing the best I can. I'm doing pretty good. I can make the banners and everything you guys see on these TV shows. I can do the same thing. I can do all. I need finance because I got it makes me have to occupy a lot of time to make sure that I'm competitive in the podcast world and just popping up every single second on every Twitter feed, on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, and everything like that. It takes money to do this. You got to have enough money to soak up that kind of time. Otherwise, you need to be out there making a living or find a way to get some kind of revenue or doing what you need to do to make money to sustain your life. So you got all these people. Y'all did it. All the podcasts are all the live chatters, the super chatters and all that stuff. Y'all gave y'all money to these people long enough. Ask for some outcome now. Let them communicate to you what they're doing with their money, what they're doing with their status, what they're doing with their influence, and see if it, like I watch all these people. I watch Patrick Bet David. I watch Charlie Kirk. I watch Dan Bongino. I watch Megyn Kelly. I watch Piers Morgan. I watch all these people that's advocating for a free country, freedom of speech, or like people to have good information when they go to the ballot box and all that stuff like that. I watch all of them. And all they doing is trying their best not to get demonetized. Trying their best not to get flagged. That's all they doing. That's what the intelligence, that high IQ goal, that's where it goes into. Figuring out how to keep the money rolling in. That's where that high IQ go in. How to communicate to you guys effectively. It don't matter how effective you think you're communicating. It doesn't matter how you think you're. What is your number, Sean? What's your number, Sean? Don't tell me how many people you're influencing and your group, the people that watch your show and all that stuff. Y'all got millions of followers, millions of listeners and all that stuff like that. Y'all probably talking to about the same pool of people. Rush Limbaugh had about 20 to 40 million people that came across all the things that he did. That 20 million people was shown to be some of the people, same people that listen to Sean Hannity. The 2 to 3 million people that consistently watch Fox. The 2 to 3 million people that watch Dan Bongino. The 2 to 3 million people that watch Charlie Kirk, that follows Charlie Kirk. That goes on Citizen Free Press. That watch Patrick Bet David. It's the same people. Y'all not spreading. Y'all voice is not magnified. I don't care how many impressions y'all were listening to. If those impressions were actually valid, this is an easy win. This is an easy win. Easy win. And we will see. I tell you, I'm going to devote all my time, all my resources. I got about 5-6 movies done. I can spend the next couple of years not doing another movie. I'm going to spend all my time, all my production skills, all my production, like designing, graphic designing skills, all the things I know how to do. I know how to do it all. Trust me. I train myself well. I don't just delegate. I know how to actually jump on the equipment and walk my people through stuff. No way. We lose this election and y'all got paid for the last 40 years like y'all been getting. I don't care about George W. Bush. That ain't the presidency that y'all was meant for, that y'all was birthed for, that y'all was born for, that your purpose is for. That's not the election. You as a voter, your purpose is this election. This is that election that your voice need to be heard, that you need to be shading in Donald J. Trump for president. I don't mind women. Yes, I do. Women, if you're voting for Kamala, you got no control. Men don't have control of you. And obviously, that's the majority of you, okay? I got that. I understand that. But you don't care about logic either. Oh, I don't like his attitude. I don't like his... Every man has Trump's personality. Every man. We just in a situation where we always just, we don't do that stuff. It's maybe not, we're not in that society where we gotta like judge every woman that comes across us. We ain't the heads of Miss American pageants where you need to judge every woman that's part of the pageant to make sure that it's logical to who's the most beautiful woman, the best body, the best genetics of a woman. That's what the pageants are for. It's to actually make a decision of what's the best body looks like, what's the best face look like, what's the best hair looks like, what's the best feet looks like, what's the best knees look like, what's the best body of a woman, what's the best look. And yeah, maybe we will lie to each other and give them some questions to say like we give a shit about the brain, of their thought process. Yes, That's what that is. None of y'all, 99% of the human population don't have nothing to do and not in no scenario where y'all have to judge the sufficiency of a woman's appeal. That's what a Miss America pageant is. To great winners, to people that know how to make great winning decisions. That's what Apprentice is for. Most of y'all don't ever have to be in that situation where you have to evaluate other human beings to their efficiency to run companies, to make winners, to make great decisions. That's what The Apprentice is for. He did 12 years of that. In addition to him fighting against billionaires, he may have $2 billion, but the 10 people that's right across from him that wants him to lose are people that got 20 billion, 30 billion, 10 billion to his 2 billion. And he's got to have the stomach to be in the room and win. Have the confidence to not worry about what he got in his pocket and beat them. 99% of y'all are not in that situation. You're not walking into rooms where you have to be the most effective person. So you need to have the wife that you have ready to walk in the room and advocate you, be a hell of a banner for you, work in that room. You're not in that situation. So when you guys try to compete yourself against him and try to say, ain't no way no woman is going to ever come out and accuse him of raping her. This is ridiculous, y'all. I know his transcripts get done, so I'm sorry for them flagging me, but this is just the conversation I'm having, and I'm just trying to be totally honest with you guys. And I guess I got to try to use the words that YouTube wants me to use. But yes, I'm coming from Rumble, and maybe I'm a little bit edgier than I probably should be on this platform. And I'll try my best to adjust to it. I don't really like it. I'm not trying to get demonetized before I get monetized, but I'm trying to be honest with you guys. I'm trying to have a communication that has some realism in what we're talking about here. And the structure and the algorithm is set for you to lie, for you to not to have an honest conversation. These guys, and Charlie Kirk, I'm about to do another episode where I'm going to go over these clips really in detail, so I'll be fair. But what you talking about is crazy. I can't even play the clip all the way through because it's just crazy. You up here like having an analyzation of other people's information. You shouldn't need nobody. You got enough money that you should have had enough polling system going that you were just as good as NBC, just as good as CBS. How much you think that they spending on polling? Wall Street Journals, NBC, CBS, Fox News. How much you think they're spending on? 20, 30, 50 million, $100 million? I'm pretty sure you got that amount that you could have put into nothing but polling and making sure that you got accurate polling. In addition, you could have put another 100 million into making sure you got people on staff to be mobilized through Michigan, Wisconsin, Pennsylvania, Georgia, Nevada, Arizona. And that you guys can't give us no data that you went out to get. I just don't understand. I really don't. Take this guy off my screen because this is ridiculous just to have them on my screen like that. Okay. Look, you guys, I know I've been yelling up a storm, just bitching and moaning. This is a rant. This is a rant episode. But please remember, and I warned you guys about this all through the episode. This episode is called Objective Mindset is an Unmerciful Perspective. Objective mindset is an unmerciful perspective. That means if somebody's telling y'all the truth, if somebody's been totally honest with you, if somebody's strategizing with you from the heart, it's ugly. It ain't pretty. It don't sound fun. It don't sound joyful. It is aggressive because it's the truth, and it's a true analysis. And most of the time, true analysis has an opposition. It has a actual pros and cons to it. The cons may be that it's not digestible. People don't like it going down. They don't like eating it. They don't like hearing it. They don't like it being in the lexicon of humanity. They want to suppress it. They want to not talk about it. But this is what we're dealing with. And we all dealing with this stuff. Even in my personal life, I'm dealing with the culture of suppression. And how much I probably shouldn't allow it even to happen in my life. But I was trying to get stuff done. I was trying to be peaceful. I was trying to be communicative. I was trying to find a way to be unified, because in filmmaking, you just can't do it by yourself. And trust me, I'm really damn good at pulling it off by myself, but it's horrible. You're missing things that you or great moments that you could have captured, that you could have do. You can't make time for it. You just got to be effective to get the goal accomplished. So it's good to have a team. It's good to have a community. It's good to have people fighting in the trenches with you. But I'm telling you, that's only good in the right spaces. For filmmaking, you can only think like that in Vancouver, in Atlanta, probably, LA, of course. I'll say Nevada gives you that kind of inspiration too. Maybe New York, and I'm finding in Ohio you might be able to kind of get some of that energy where people jump in because it's the inspiration of the goal. The goal should drive your inspiration. If you're a low budget person, the goal should drive the inspiration of everybody involved. The goal, not money, not your name, not your clout. The goal. I read the script. I love it. I love what's going on here. Let's do it. I'll try to do everything I can to get it done. That's how that should be. If you're doing low budget, if you're doing high budget and the $2 million to up, because high budget is $2 million and up. If you're doing that, then if you're paid well, you're doing what you got paid for. Do your job. But when you're doing stuff for $30,000, $50,000, $80,000, maybe $150,000 for, like, I've seen people spend $300,000 for 2 hours and 40 minutes worth of content. That's actually transferred to the audience. So if you're in that range from 30 to 300,000. 300,000 to 400,000, pretty much what I'm seeing, then you need to have people do it for the passion of the project. If they're able to get paid, that's cool. That's all good. But they really should be there for the project, because that's what you need to do an effective, great content. And that's the thing that people fail. That's why you got a lot of crappy stuff on Tubi, because you just got a bunch of people just, they passion ain't in it, and if they passion is in it, it ain't good enough. And they should have been told that by the leader, the director. Okay? I didn't mean to get into my stuff. I'm just showing you that even in all facets of life, in the different circumstances, even in my personal life, the way we're thinking about this election is terrible. I hate that it's a men versus woman election, but it is. The only women that are coming on this side is because they understand that this is not the world they want to live in. That's like women got to be the answers for everything. They want their men to be the answers for economics and all the stuff like that. And if you're smart, you need men to take control of the world again. But if you're not, you know who to pick. So Donald Trump is for you and your individual freedom and the prosperity of your family. You, your individuality, and the prosperity of your family. If you're not for that, don't vote for Trump, because that's what Trump's fighting for. That's why he communicates how he wants to communicate. That's why he believes how he wants to be. That's why he won't take no favors. He won't suck up to the FBI, to the Pentagon, to the CIA, to none of them. to the NDI, the NSA, ODNI. He won't suck up to none of it. He won't do no favors for none of them. They're going to do what he wants them to do. Why? Because he doing what we want him to do. So if you don't want to be for that, don't vote for Trump, because that's what he's for. Those are the things he's for. He's to magnify us individually, not together, not in a collective ideology, individual freedoms, individual prosperity, individual's will. That's what Trump fights for. Kamala, she's in the international thing. We all are the people of the world. We're the citizens of the world. We need to come together to help every man out, help each other out, pick each other up off each other's feet. We need to guarantee success for all of us. You need to do the best for what's the majority of the people. You need to give up your success to make sure other people have success. You need to lower your value to make sure other people have values. This is what Kamala's for. Best birth control is women closing their legs and not getting into a sexual relationship with a guy that you're not married to or planning to be married to. If you're not going to do that, then you take on the burdens. Abortion is a tough situation. That's why we don't want federal government making this decision. Only 9 people made the decision for the last 50 years about abortion. 9 people made that decision. You have 350 million people living in this country, and they never had their actual opinion on how they felt about abortion. It was only 9 people that overseen how or their ideology communicated how 350 million people should look at abortion. All Trump did was say, no, it's not the decision of 9 people. 5 out of the 9, really, but 9 people. It's not the decision of the 9 people. Let 350 million people talk about it, debate it, put it on the ballot, let them go to the ballot box, vote for it, and whatever the consensus of that situation is, that's what it is. It's got no place in our hands. It's got no place in my hands. It's got no place in Kamala's hands. It's got no place in the senators and Congress's hands. That should be a vote, and how you deal with abortion should be in the hands of the people. They should go to the ballot and voice their opinion and then put into law based on what was put in the ballot. But Kamala say, nope, we open it up. Give them all choices, wherever they want, where, however they want. If it ain't too dangerous, let them go up. I don't care. I really don't. I know that's sinful. It takes away my devotion to Christianity, to Jesus, to God, and to be a person of Christ. It weakens me to say that. Because I'm saying, it's so crazy. How do you guys have a narrative of abortion where it favors men more than it favors women? And then additional to that, why are we having this conversation? And it's a conversation of the people now. Let them make the decision, whatever way it goes. Most states are voting for in support of abortion. Let them have that conversation. Why do y'all not know how to communicate that? Find a way to put that in a 30-second soundbite. Crazy. The opposition side is you got Kamala Harris. Trump wants to take away your abortion rights. Trump wants to tell a woman what to do with their body. Trump wants to take the autonomy of a woman's body away from her. Trump wants to have you on the side of a curb with a hanger trying to give yourself an abortion. This is how Kamala got hundreds of millions of dollars of ads on Facebook, on Instagram, on YouTube, on networks, everything. And you know what the Republicans' opposition is? Kamala wants abortion up to the 9th month. Kamala wants to kill your baby if your baby don't die because they didn't make it through an abortion on the table of a medical room. Kamala wants to do abortion past 21 weeks. Kamala wants to do abortions past the 21st week. This is the opposition. This is how the Republicans talk about it. Instead of saying, hey, we gave it back to the people to make the vote. We voting the way that we want to vote, and every individual citizen, because it's an individual citizen's right to vote how they want to vote on abortion, because this is a matter to the people now. The people need to have a conversation about it, and they need to do it. We as government officials, congressmen, senator, presidents, judicial systems, DOJ, we have no input into abortion because those are rights of an individual citizens. Why? Because it's a degenerate thing to do. You're giving God rights to women to make a decision for their body dealing with a pregnancy. That's such a situation that only God in that person, they gotta have it out. They gotta have it out. They gotta have it out. It's like a person breaking into your home, your kids and your family is in the house, and you're deciding, should I shoot this person or should I not shoot this person? That's the decision you're making with abortion. Only the person that's in the house, in perceiving the danger that might come upon their family, get to choose how they decide to shoot that gun. Because once you break into the window, once you break into the door, and I see you coming around, and I see you doing something and everything, and I notice you, I don't have to say, hey, what are you doing in my house? I get to say, target, shoot. Now, hey, man, what are you doing in my house while you taking your last breath? I don't care if you got a gun or a knife or a weapon on you. You just kicked in my door. You just broke into my windows in my house. If I slept and kept this calm and I just stayed in the bed and didn't do nothing, what kind of harm could have came to my family? What kind of control would I have then over you just taking what you want and just getting out the house? No. You break into the house. You're in the house. I get to decide if you live or die. In any contextual situation that's there, I get to decide that. That's abortion. When you make it a something that is in existence in the medical world, you have decided that now this needs to be on a service that a person can get. They can play God. We give the right to women to play God. Who's the only person that can punish a person for playing God? Who's that person? God. God is the only person that can punish a person for playing God. If they play God and God is in opposition of them playing God, God is the only one that can punish that person for playing God. Not a Republican, not a Christian, not a Mormon. You guys are playing God when you tried to punish a person for playing God. God is the person that punishes you. Now the good book goes back and says, thou shalt not kill. So when you're killing, you're going by something that is projected from God. So a punishment upon God is to be applied to this person. But even in that, it's supposed to be an eye for an eye. But we civilized. We're evolved as individual citizens. We evolved our society so much where we put in laws to have preventative situations. Don't do that. Don't do this. Don't do that. Because if you do, it's going to be a punishment applied to you and you have to suffer consequences. That's how we interjected our way of playing God. So every single Christian in this country, every Catholic in this country, all you ignorant retards are playing God when you punish a person for playing God. Hey, look, like I could do this forever, y'all. I'm done. I'm going to come back on. And hopefully we go through some news and some clips and stuff like that. I am Daris D. McKinney. This is Individual Perspective Podcast. I'm trying to give you guys an example of what individual perspective is. When you have a true individual perspective, your truth is the objective truth. Your truth is the objective truth. It is what it is. When you become a person of your mind, the things that come in your head, the things that you think are true, it's already vetted. It's already the objective truth. When your truth is the objective truth, that's an individual perspective. You have to train yourself to make sure whatever your truth is, it is the objective truth. Objective truth stops it from objectivity stops your truth from just being a subjective way that you look at things, and it's the truth. When your truth is the objective truth, objective truth says that it's vetted and it's the truth. It's just the truth. It's objective truth. It can be seen objectively. Your truth is, when it's analyzed, it's objective. Otherwise, it'd be your truth is a subjective truth. Your truth is an objective truth, puts us in an actual psychological proof analysis in an actual way to guarantee that whatever's coming out of your head, whatever's coming out of your mouth is what it is. It is what it is. It's the truth. And that's what we do here. That's what I try to communicate. That's why this episode is so hardcore. This way, why what I'm communicating is so brutal, is because in order to actually have an objective truth, you have to be able to vet yourself. You have to vet your mother, vet your father, vet your siblings, vet your family, vet your community, vet your society, vet the celebrities, vet the politicians, vet your historical data, vet literature, vet the legislation, vet statutes. Don't just abide by them. Don't just let them be the truth. We have thousands of statutes that we are getting abide by, that we get sued, that we get put in jail, that are against your constitutional right. They're against your Fourth and your Fifth Amendment right, really. And definitely starting to be part of your First Amendment right. We got thousands of statutes, but we're so corrupt, so lack of any objective analysis, that we have to take all that stuff up to the Supreme Court and fight it one by one through the courts, through the appellate courts, to the Supreme, to the state Supreme, to the U.S. Supreme Court in order to get this stuff deleted. And I don't see nobody trying to do anything like that but Trump. When Trump said that he's going to have Elon Musk be ahead of the actual evaluation of all our government and how they operate, greatest thing anybody tried to do to our government over the last 100 to 200 years. We got too much stuff in our government that's just totally against people's rights. That's what I'm here to do. You got a lot of podcasters. I commend you guys. Congratulations. You're successful. You're wealthy. You're great monetized podcasters. I'm starting to say I could 100%, I'm almost there. I just want to see how this election goes. But I could start to say that it's all for nothing. The support that the people are having for you guys was all for nothing. It was just to let them, was to advocate what they hear in their head. But your effectiveness, your influence on the world sucks. If Trump wins this election, it's pure. It's the sad part about it is it's purely all him. He had to substitute Christians. He had to substitute like Republicans. No, if you lose 20 to 30, 40% of the Republican vote, you're done. If you lose 74% of Christians, you're done. If he overcomes that, it's all Trump. It's all Trump. It's with people understanding, man, he does his work. He does what he does. He was right. He may not like how he said that, but he was right. Yep, that's just the way he is. He knows how to do it. And that I can't believe we got all these millionaires and billionaires. They know what it took to get their first million. They know what it took to get their first 10 million. They know what it took to get their first billion. And know what it took to get the multiple billions. And you guys are acting like Trump tripped and failed into the multi-billions of dollars that he has, and the assets and the real estate and all the stuff that he does successful. And you guys are acting like he tripped and failed into it. Oh, it's because his father is garbage compared to what he did, or what he could have did with the money that he gave him. Trump is a self-made man, and y'all crazy for thinking otherwise. And people that ain't got nothing, that ain't made no success, and ain't took it and made it out the mud, they don't know. All you people we got so many people part of this country. I'm going to end this by saying this. We got so many people part of this country that have made their wealth and their money and their prosperity, and they sent their kids to college, and they bought the cars and bought the real estate and bought the houses off of being employees of taxes. Made all their money from being from taxes, or being a philanthropist, or like I won't even say a philanthropist. I'll say like a what they call it, like a, not even a hedge fund person, because you got to get it from wealthy people, but people that worked for their money. What is that? It's a person that actually does like charitable things, but they get people to put money into the coffers for it. A nonprofit, and political scientists, and government employees. I don't care who that is. I don't care what position you are. If your success comes from you being a government employee, I don't care what job you have. I may give a little, because military people, soldiers, Navy SEALs, all the people, Marines, Navy, the corporals, National Guards, you guys do a service that most of us don't do. We decide that we want to go in our lives and live our life and become who we want to become, but you guys give up an actual life of capitalism and entrepreneurship in order to sacrifice yourself, and you might actually get called to a battle line and get killed, and you thought you would have been able to come back and go to school and raise a kid and go on a cruise, but you never lived long enough, or you went through a lot, that you come back and you have to re-implement yourself into society where there's a bunch of weak pussies around you that you have to adjust to that. So I may give a little bit leniency to military people, our soldiers, to say that you guys are getting your money from taxes and you deserve it. But everybody else, you don't. FBI, you don't. CIA, you don't. Pentagon, you don't. You get what I'm saying? The government employees, every last one of y'all, you don't deserve it. You do it. You have the jobs, and you have the lifestyle, and you have the actual economics on how stupid American citizens are, that they destroy themselves in order to magnify government. And then the government comes up with a reason to keep us from destroying destroying ourselves to magnify government. That's what society is. That's what we fight for every year. When you got half of what you make go to government, then everything you think you are, you also are a puppet and a fool and a troll and a slave for government. So that's all of us. That's all of us. Every purpose that we think, whatever we think we're good at and we're great at and our value is and what we cool at, you also are a slave and a workhorse and a puppet for government. Because 50% of you go to government. I know that's crazy. I know. This is a proof of objectivity. The conversation that I'm having, the objectivity, you may not like it. You may not like what I'm saying, but if you go vet it, you go do your research on it, if you see what I'm saying, I'm not saying anything that has no validity, it has no factual basis to it. It's all factual basis. It's just the way it is. You'll never be able to say that I said something and didn't have a full evaluation of it. I did. I gave both sides. I gave the analysis of it, and I gave why I'm thinking that way. Okay? So, but this is why this is why we lie to each other. That's why we scheme on each other. That's why we take from each other. That's why we want us to win over each other. And we just don't do what we're doing and then don't hurt what another person doing. This is why we destroy each other. Because objective mindset is a bad thing. It's not good. It's a hard thing to be consistent to because you understand what the truth is, and the truth is ugly. The truth is ugly. So objective mindset is an unmerciful perspective to have. But Individual Perspective Podcast is here to teach you and train you and talk to you about how to fight for your own individuality. And your own individuality can be only given to you if you know what the truth is. You may not advocate it, you may not live on it, but if you know what it is, you know how to communicate to yourself who you are, and why you're where you are and what you're doing. You know how to communicate that to yourself. And at least you need to be able to communicate it to yourself, even if you don't display it outwardly. That's what an individual perspective is. An Individual Perspective Podcast. I'm your host, Daris D. McKinney, and I will be back. And I'm sorry for talking and bloviating for most of this podcast, but I'm trying to get you guys to link on to what I'm doing here and communicate with me. Hit the comments up, hit the like button, follow this channel, and hopefully as I go, I start to push. They start to at least let my stuff get seen, because I don't think you can get seen unless you do so much. It starts pushing you where you can even be seen. I think they leaving this to their most valued people or the most projected people, and I will have to do 100 of these before I be able to be seen in any possible way. So that's why I'm trying to communicate my purpose and the value of my thought process. So when I start talking about conversations about politics and everything like that, and everything that I'm saying, if you guys want to see that, all stuff that I've been doing every single day leading up to this episode is on Rumble. Like, click the links in the bottom and you'll see it. You see it. Go watch it. Yes, I had to kick back in. I've been away from podcasting for a couple of years. I got stuff that's on Spotify, on Apple Podcasts, from what I've been doing in 2015, 2016, 2017. I did some stuff under Life Choice Health and Wealth. I'll start putting that link in there too. If you look that up, Life Choice Health and Wealth, I did podcasts with my brother. He passed. He's a great warrior with me. His name was Khalil Biddle, and we did a podcast called Life Choice Health and Wealth. I think that's my alarm. I'm sorry. I hear my alarm. Sorry about that. I was wondering what that was. So Life Choice Health and Wealth, that's a podcast that I did in the pandemic, and boy, we called it well. So I got a lot of history out there. I got a lot of background in doing podcasts, and yes, I needed to get a couple months to get my juice back, get my flow back, get my communication level back, where I don't just say stuff and stutter or do things that I just don't really like in the end, where I got to edit myself so much, or I needed to be able to go edit and stuff like that, which I like that in YouTube. They do give you a way to cut out things that you want, but so far I'm not doing it. I'm just kind of letting it play out. But thank you guys. This Individual Perspective Podcast, my name is Daris D. McKinney, and I will see you hopefully on the next episode that I can do very quickly, but this one took a lot out of me, but I am pretty upset, and I'm not happy about how we're moving and what this election looks like it sums out. I'm really disappointed by people out there that's supposed to have some better data for us. Some data for us that we got to trust the system. You guys getting paid hundreds of millions of dollars, and I just don't understand. I don't understand how these people have been making money for so many years, and they don't even just in the election. That all that is you talking to the people. You putting people on the ground. You finding out from the state and from the cities how many people register, to vote, how many people that we register to vote. That gives you a little bit more probability of what's going to happen in Michigan, what's going to happen what's going to happen in Michigan? What's going to happen in Wisconsin? What's going to happen in Pennsylvania? What's going to happen in Georgia? What's going to happen in Nevada? What's going to happen in Arizona? But for us to have our people that's get paid liquid, we send in $5 and $10 and $1, and you got Elon Musk pouring out millions of dollars in people, and then you guys don't know nothing. Nothing. It's ridiculous. Okay, see you in the next one, guys. Speak to you later.